Now, SAN, let me come to you with this. Some have actually argued that a section of the Constitution actually set out that a senator can only be, it has a right to participate for, I think, about 181 days in a legislative year. Now, if this suspension continues and the case in the court is not dispensed of, what will that mean? Does it now mean that Senator Natasha has lost her capacity to represent her constituents because she has not met the required number of days she ought to sit at the plenary?
Definitely, that's the implication. Because even this, just like my Daniel friend said and the CEO said, it is completely unconstitutional to remove a senator by her colleagues, because indefinite suspension actually means deny her the opportunity to sit in the proceedings, and deny her opportunity to meet the 181 days threshold that make her qualify as a senator. Because if you do not sit within that threshold, you lose your seat. So in other words, the whole thing is no longer legal. The whole thing is completely vindictive and political. Because if it is legal, then the law is clear that you cannot suspend her beyond 14 proceedings, which is the court have already stated. And even if you insist that court's ruling does not bind you, then you cannot suspend her beyond the 6 months that you have imposed, and continue to deny her, saying you are waiting till a court decision is made. Well, the implication is indefinite suspension. Because even if Natasha goes to withdraw her own case in court, how about the case, the cross appeal by the Senate? So they'll leave the case there and then use that as an excuse. It is really reckless and it is really unlawful. I do hope the Senate will retract these steps.
All right, and the court acknowledged that the Senate has every right to discipline its members. Now, should the Senate also debate about Senator Natasha's right, and also in line with how senators ought to comport themselves in respect to the rules? Shouldn't the debate be about that as well?
Yes, of course. The Senate has a duty to self-regulate itself, and also, in order to improve its integrity, to also encourage members to conduct themselves in accordance with their ethics and rules and privileges stipulations. But having said that, I think it's important that internal governance within the Senate must look inwards to see what is happening in the Senate. Not just respect to the conduct of senators within the chambers, but their conduct outside the chambers. And I think it's important because the Senate is the upper chambers, and its integrity is important to the integrity and image of Nigeria. So this kind of unlawfulness coming out from the upper chambers does not tell well to Nigeria's democracy. We're a country built on the Constitution and the rule of law. And I think the Senate should allow the rule of law to prevail. Whatever personal issues anybody in the Senate may have, or whatever political issues they will have with Senator Natasha Akpoti, should not confuse their role as custodian of the Constitution. Should not do that. And they should uphold the rule of law, because they're setting a very wrong precedent. It could be somebody else, it could be another senator tomorrow. Maybe next assembly, and this case will be used as an example, as a precedent. So it is wrong to set a wrong precedent in the Senate.